I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are honored by the presence of Lil Flamie today. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I am doing great. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello. My name is Flamie Valora Lilac. I am the silent mother across the void. I am a variety size plus size VTuber, and I do just basically anything I feel like I want to do. I'm a variety streamer at heart. Probably seen me as like a goat or some corrupted ethereal thing around the internet. So, yeah.
I do whatever I want to do when I do it.
Exactly.
And for that, everyone is jealous.
I try not to stick to one thing. It's really difficult.
Yeah. Well, when you're, it kind of reflects. Does it reflect your off-screen personality that you would like to be anyway? Chaotic and just whatever hits the wall.
I would say a little bit of that. I'd say like I just live in the moment, right?
Yeah.
I come from a family where it's structured order, and I realized, okay, I would rather just live in the moment and just enjoy life. Because if things are too structured, you don't live. You're kind of just there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You kind of just you instead of living, you're existing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know all about that. I'm an old man. There's some days I get up and I say, well, this is one of those existing days.
Yeah. There'll be those days where I wake up in my bed and I'm like, oh God. All right, here we go again. Let's do it.
Give me a couple of seconds to get everything put together.
You got to do like the dad groan or something. Just
no, it's the grandpa groan now. It's advanced. As I told people the other day, I said I was really looking forward to my my midlife crisis, and I realized I'm about 3/4 of the way through, and now I'm just sad.
You haven't bought your Corvette yet?
No. I have watched it though. I do have a little. I did have a little Dodge Omni once.
Oh, God! I haven't heard of the Omni in a while. That's an old one.
It was actually a pretty nice car. I wish I still had it compared to what we have now. So when did you get started with content creating?
So that's an interesting story. I have been doing this stuff for about 6+ years. I officially started Twitch around 2020. But even before then, I was always playing around with stuff over on YouTube. What originally was my VOD archive currently was actually my original channel, and it's went through different names. I had a bunch of old friend groups back in the day, and they liked my personality and they liked how I was, and they're like, hey, you're pretty funny. You should do this. And I was really hesitant, right? One of the people I looked up to, rest in peace, Etika, he was really good with giving advice. And one of the things that he had mentioned that kind of stuck to me is, hey, like be your own legend, right? Write your own tale. Like if you want to do something, screw your anxiety and just go for it, right?
Sounds so simple.
It does, but there is a beauty in that.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic hit, I was kind of in a rough spot. My little sister passed away. The person I looked up to passed away. And I was about to head to New Mexico because I used to live in New York.
That's a bit of a switch, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh, I will. They say that New Mexico is the land of entrapment, and it is.
By spiders,
but Well, now I'm trapped with a different spider.
There
Like,
you go. There you go.
But no, then I started streaming. Before I did VTubing, I was just a normal variety streamer.
Mhm.
So I was kind of like, I don't know if you ever heard of the names Vinny, Vinesauce, or Vark Skeletor
Oh
Joel,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
any
yeah.
of them. Yeah, I was kind of like them. I got compared to like a bunch of people. I got compared to Germa, I got compared to them, and then I think later down the road, I think want to say 2 or 3 years ago, a VTuber by the name Take to Action, who was a really good friend of mine at the time,
Mhm.
got me into VTubing,
Ah.
and 6 iterations later, I'm here, and I enjoy it. I love doing this stuff. It's something that is not only a passion project for me, but it's something that I heavily encourage others to also take part in
Ah,
because
cool. Yeah.
it made me a better person.
Well, it certainly allows you to present yourself the way you want to be presented. I mean, it's you make that decision. Somebody else isn't making the decision of how they perceive you.
Absolutely, yeah, and I would also point out that it is very rewarding.
Mm,
It may not seem like it, but the small victories that come with this stuff, it is very rewarding.
mm,
I very much appreciate and I'm very thankful for the friends and my family and the community that I have.
yeah.
So the small victories are rewarding.
When you are able to build up a little community and build up people that are regularly coming back for you, sooner or later you got to realize it's because it's not because of the your entrapment or whatever you uh, physically showing yourself or anything like that. It's because of your personality.
Mhm.
And when did that hit you that it was your your core that was bringing people back?
Um. Okay. Because that's an interesting one. I think it was about 2 years ago. I had lost a pretty substantial, important friend group that mattered to me pretty greatly.
Mhm,
Um. At that time,
mhm,
due to some poor decisions on my part.
mhm,
Um. But over time, when I started rebuilding myself back up, like the people that stayed, like my community, the people around me that were my friends and my family, that were left over, um, they showed me something that there was a few specific people that tried to teach me, which was the faces are different, but the reason they're there stays the same.
mhm.
And that's me, right?
Right.
Um, I'm a firm believer that while yes, content plays, or the type of content rather, plays a key role as you as a content creator or a streamer.
Mhm,
But ultimately, the content really doesn't matter. You matter,
mhm.
right? So
Right.
you, if people like you, they stay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but as I've always said to everybody else, um, I'm just one dumb girl on the internet. I'm just one dumb girl on the internet. There are plenty of other amazing, talented creators that like people can support and love. And I always strongly encourage that people find that person that they can, watch or admire or look up to.
Or relate to.
Um,
Yeah.
it's something that they need.
Yeah, but don't don't uh, don't brush it off because I know you just tried, but I ain't gonna let you. It they are coming back for you though. It is, and when you kind of realize that, and is it? Do you get the kind of a justifying feeling? Is it is it a wind beneath your wings moment when you realize that?
It's more of a fulfilling thing,
Hmm,
right?
yeah.
I'm someone who wants to give to
Mm,
the world. I want to make people smile.
mhm,
So when I sit here and see people laughing and having a good time and they're enjoying what I'm giving,
mhm.
that's fulfilling to me. I feel like it's a small thing that I can contribute in what is arbitrarily a scary world.
I don't think you can this arbitrarily about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I'm not getting too high on my soapbox, but yeah, it's scary. Um, but I'm not letting you off the hook with it though, because it's people don't stick around for no reason, and
Mhm.
people. I mean, I watched some of your stuff here before coming on, and people are enjoying themselves. People are enjoying the chaos and everything else you bring to the table. Um, was there a point in your life where you didn't think you'd be able to do that?
No.
Mm-mm.
I always grew up with the mindset of staying determined on what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Um, for me, it's important to stick to something, right? To
Mm-hmm.
be committed to something. And my content and what I give to people is something I'm committed to, right?
Right.
The type of chaos that I give, um, I firmly believe anyone can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like you said earlier. It's not about it's the person, right? People
Right.
stay for the person,
Right.
and um, I never sat here once thinking I can't do this. I always looked at that funny little live button and I said, just another one, huh? But no, I never really had that type of insecurity
Mm.
or like anxiety when it comes to streaming.
Wow.
When people around me, like my mother, Gazakantha, she talks about stream anxiety a lot with me, and I look at her and I'm like, I don't have this issue.
What is?
And I've noticed a lot of my friends have that issue.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of energy in them to do so. But for
Mm.
me, it's like, uh, I just hit the live button.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it confidence or is it just um blissful ignorance? I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that is it just you don't care?
I would say it's more confidence
Mm.
and passion.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a bit of an oddball. I won't lie.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of really
Nobody,
don't
nobody
mind
else,
what people think of me.
nobody else that uses avatars on the internet is an oddball.
Hey, I mean, hey, it could be worse. I could be a handful of other people
Oh yes.
making bad decisions on the internet.
Oh
So,
yes. Yes. Absolutely.
but like, I think the thing is like, it's not so much blissful ignorance or confidence. It's just I don't really mind what people say about me.
Mm.
Um, when I started streaming, I originally started with the mindset of there is bad publicity and good publicity, but it really nowadays I just look at it as, dude, I'm unapologetic. I'm 28. I'm unapologetically me. I'm here for you. But if I'm not for you, I'm not for you. It's not a big deal, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now
I'm just me,
now
and
that
that's the thing that matters most.
yeah, that's the thing I can certainly relate to being at this age. Being 175 years old. Um, Yeah, at least I feel like that today. The the you get to the point where if someone isn't gonna like you, they isn't gonna like you, and I'm not gonna chase them
Yes.
down and say, oh, you must love me. No, there's plenty other things that they can go and do, and just as long as they don't leave pipe bombs, everything's fine. Uh, uh, you know, you don't need to jump into somebody's chat and say, oh, I think you're dumb and leave. That's just rude, and just stay away from rude people as much as you can.
Yeah. I would say with people like that, I have a different approach. I learned from other streamers
Mm-hmm.
that I used to watch on how to deal with people like that
Mm-hmm.
in a more healthy manner.
Mm.
I I try to kill them with kindness, and I try to kill them with just blissful pretend unawareness, I
Yeah.
guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes I keep, sometimes they stay, and then sometimes they go, and I'm thankful that I have the mod team that I have.
Yeah.
We never really have any of those problems in my environment. I would just say that, people do bad things because they want attention, right?
Yeah.
And the old adage, don't feed the trolls, is well and easy to sit there and say.
Hmm.
But I could sit here and list a number of people in my community where they used to be like, yeah, F her and, she's horrible. And they kind of came around and it was like, oh yeah, no, she's not that bad. She's actually kind of cool.
And when you can win them over, that's a skill. That's a skill.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of people can do that. It's so frustrating when you put out any effort toward people that refuse to do that. That for a lot of us, and I've had it myself over all those years in radio and doing this is, I just to me, I just like, okay, I'm not wasting my time on you. Um,
No, and that's fair. And I agree with that. There is some point where you just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna let this one go, or like, okay, I'll I'll move on from that.
yeah, yeah.
Pick and choose your battles, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. But hopefully you don't have. Do you think that the online community right now, the VTuber community, is more accepting or less accepting of people at this point?
Ooh, that's an interesting one because I have, depending on what mood you get me in, you might get a different answer.
Mm. Well, I mean, that's very valid. I mean, it's
Um, I'll put it to you this way. I used to have a friend who used to teach me the motto, "It's just the nature of our environment," right?
uh-huh.
And that comes off very jaded, and it very much rings bells in the VTubing community, or just streaming as a whole,
Right,
really.
right,
I look at the VTuber community as a subset of a bigger thing,
mm,
right?
right.
And as somebody who came from the outside uh, in the middle of my streaming career, um, I got to see the good, the bad, and the indifferent of all of the things that of all the people and the things that I've been a part of.
Hmm.
So I would always say for current ongoing content creators, such as myself and others, um, it's very tricky to maneuver relationships because you have a lot of great and wonderful people who care.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of people also have motives.
Right.
And walls. So the way I look at it is you gotta understand that people in this environment have scars from other people, and you gotta kind of be a little bit more fragile, or handle them a little more fragilely than say like people who aren't in that environment,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Um, it's a difficult question. If it was a new content creator, a new streamer, I always tell them yes, because I'm never going to tell someone no
Hmm.
on something that is what I consider an opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
Um, I'm living proof of it. But it's a difficult question to answer. Because while I could sit here and say the usual statements of, "Oh, well, yeah, it's great, but you have your clicks and stuff." Um, Especially in the groups that I'm a part of, those spaces change constantly.
Right.
Um, it, it, it's it's a really difficult question to answer, and unfortunately, like, I don't want it to sound like it's all bad because it's not.
Yeah.
Again, people at the end of the day, there are people behind those models, and they have scars, and you gotta handle them fragilely.
You have to do that. It's almost like you have to assume that before you talk to folks, because if you don't, if you just come in, like a romping, stomping bull in their china shop, then you're not gonna leave a positive impression, really.
Mhm.
If you, if, but if you treat people like they're human beings, more than just characters on a screen, or even when I was interviewing some really really famous folks over the years, you treat them like human beings, and you get human being answers, and you you break down those barriers, and you get they re- they realize that you're interested in them, um, and they become more comfortable with you. Uh, do you feel comfortable with your chat, and do you think your chat feels comfortable with you?
Absolutely.
Good,
Without hesitation, absolutely.
good.
I very much adore my community, and I feel comfortably around. Like before this podcast, I was in VC with my community, just chilling, playing Warframe.
They were warning you off. Don't go on the show.
No, they're very happy that I'm spreading my arms a bit more. Because there was a brief period where even I kind of closed off a little bit, just to kind of lick wounds and stuff.
It's very natural.
Yeah.
To me, it's just human after all.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I feel it's important to um, engage with your community. I've had a lot of people, a lot of streamers who I am just friends with,
mm-hmm.
and they come to me. They're like, "Oh, Flamie, your community is so active and engaging. Like, how did you do this?" And it's like, I don't have those common barriers like the streamer and viewer type thing.
Mm-hmm.
With my community. I actually try and engage with them. I do events with them. I bring them on the stream. When I'm playing things like Warframe, I always actively encourage them to be a part of it, because it's not just my environment. It's their environment too. And I love doing that because it always makes for a good time, but it also makes it for an interesting thing to see for
Yeah.
people on the outside coming in.
Yeah. It makes me a little nervous when you say that. That's okay to say, because I don't want you to get to the point where you let too much of the control go to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because that can burn you so quick.
Oh, absolutely. I I have experience with that, unfortunately. Not with community, but with other streamers that I've been friends with at some point.
Yeah.
When I think I should probably clarify that a bit more.
If you'd like, you don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously the obvious walls of parasocialism that you can't just let random people come in and pry and control everything about what you do,
right,
or who you are. But when I guess what I'm saying is, within constraints, within reasonable levels of engagement, I think it's important. Like, say for example, like I actively do like predictions and polls whenever there are decisions made in games.
Right.
I let my community take part in those because it gives them a feeling that they're contributing to the channel, right?
Right.
When I do events, when I do watch parties, or when I do my VR chat events, those are direct things that they can like bond and communicate with me with, right?
Right.
Again, I do this stuff because I want people to smile, and so I'm more than willing to give, but I'm not going to tear down my own personal walls and let myself be overexposed.
There you go. You satisfied the old man here by saying that.
I've had a lot of experience, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was just starting to get worried. Like,
Nah.
Don't leave the flank open. Don't circle the wagons here a little bit. that sort of thing. But truthfully, it sounds like you're enjoying yourself almost too much. But save some for everybody else.
Listen, there's more fun for everybody, but I'll take my piece of the cake.
Really, just talk with just a short time. and just listening to your voice, it's immediately welcoming, and um, that's not something that is a personality. That's not a. It's very hard to keep that if going if that's not a reflection of who you are. Um, so that's a huge, huge nod in your favor there. That's pretty incredible to be able to do that sort of thing. I know you can't probably do it every second of every day, because I know that when people get a little older, sometimes you got to shake your fist at everybody on the lawn every once in a while.
Gotta sit on your porch,
Yeah,
drink your coffee.
yeah.
Yeah, damn kids.
That cloud isn't doing it right. So
Stop trying to do subathons. Just have fun with it.
that's right. Oh, now you have been listening to some of my stuff, haven't you?
I did take a peek here and there. I also noticed that some of my friends that are in this server as well.
Yeah.
That have taken part in this as well. So
Well, I just appreciate everybody who comes on. I just think that if you spend time talking to the old man, then I appreciate it. But I get the chance to see how many different sides to every person that we get on here, and I'm sure you've seen it too when you've interacted a lot with other VTubers, obviously, and the the variety of people that are on here is incredible. And their stories and backgrounds and reasons and talents. Uh, we are very blessed to have this ability to to hear other voices that weren't able to do so in the past.
yeah, it is an interesting it's an interesting variety when it comes to people's stories. I always like hearing people's like history and what they've been through
Mm,
and like their growth, not just as a creator but as a person.
yeah,
Um I'm always on the fence when it comes to people who fully give into their character
right.
and don't let them shine.
Hmm.
But I understand that I used to have a friend who she explained it to me very well, which is the character is my mask and it helps me show elements of myself. But sometimes those elements create something of their own.
Mm.
And I have to put myself on the back end and then I have to stop them and be like, hey, hold on, dude. Hold on. You don't want to do that. That creates an ego. And while egos are good in some sense, an unchecked one is incredibly horrid. And kind of circling back to what we were talking about earlier about the bull in the china shop.
Yeah,
Um, I'm always under the belief that like you shouldn't be the bull in the china shop. You should be the manager, right? You should be the person who is handling the china and making sure that the bulls stay calm
mm,
and help them see like, hey, like some of these people, they have history, they have trauma, they have scars.
right,
And that they do these things because of those things that they've been through.
right,
And
right.
I personally feel like listening to people and just hearing them out is a key component in building those relationships and fostering those relationships.
Oh yeah,
Because, if you go into this environment with the idea that you're going to make a bag or you're going to get big and famous, I hate to break it to you. You will fail. Nobody will interact with you. You will fail. I have
mm.
seen it time and time again.
The artificiality isn't going to stand very long.
Exactly. And, I don't believe in the word networking. I think networking is such a bad term
Mm.
because it dilutes what actual friendships and relationships actually mean to people.
I understand that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It changes it to a business transaction
exactly.
rather than hey, how you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And while having those business relationships is important, um, it's equally as important to foster and build those relationships with people around you.
Hmm.
Um, but just it's like I said, everything has a balance. You don't want to throw your heart at someone and they never give it back in return, or you don't want them to feel like that they're letting you down. It's a give and take type thing. I feel with this environment,
Well,
and
that's getting pretty meta there with it. With I mean, don't I mean, not no, I'm not criticizing anything, but when you when you when you get to the point where you're going to that level of you don't want someone to feel that they're letting you down,
oh yeah,
you you're starting to really reach into things you can't control.
oh absolutely no. But I think it's the small things that I think people seem to forget.
Hmm.
The small things that you can control,
Mm,
like I do my best whenever people reach out to me. I tell them thank you
mm,
because a simple thank you, a simple hello, a simple "I hope you're doing okay."
yeah.
It means a lot to people. It does. It may or may not break or may or break make or break someone.
Oh, it might be
You never know.
that might be that little thing that keeps them from doing something stupid, or keeps them
Exactly.
from doing something that will leave a permanent mark one way or
Ye
another.
yes, exactly. And, I speak from personal experience.
Mm,
So, I while I would sit here and say I agree, it might be getting into, meta territory of things that you can or can't control. I'd argue and say that there are small, tiny little things that over time can build up and
hmm.
help someone, right? And
Yeah.
they can even help yourself too, you never know.
Oh well,
So
yeah, yeah. It's I always talk about people being the triumph that emerges from their circumstances. Um, that is a concept that's really foreign to some people. Um, but I think that people do it more often than they realize, where they they get to adapt, adopt, and improve, or you just take what you have. You have you have whatever cards in your hand, and you do the best you can with them, and you make whatever you make out of it is yours.
mhm.
Um, would you say you've done that? Sounds like you have.
S Yeah, that's most of my life.
Mm,
To give a little bit of a personal background, aside from streaming, I used to be a cop.
mm,
I used to work in law enforcement,
yeah.
and I used to work in the federal government as well.
Oh boy.
I have seen too many people, tear themselves apart to get an inch further,
Right.
and I see it. And I see it from time to time in this environment too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
People do not realize, and I work at the police department now here locally. Um, don't realize what folks are putting themselves through every day as an officer. Um, and what they see and what they have to take home with them, and
yeah,
yeah, it's
it's definitely that, but it's also it kind of harps back to what you asked earlier. Um, People make decisions that may not be best for them,
right,
but it's because there's always a because, right?
right,
So I guess it's a really weird way of saying you want to help them, but you gotta let them figure it out themselves,
right,
unless they come to you asking for help.
right.
I have been both the receiving end of situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have also been on the giving end of things like that.
Mm,
So when I sit here and I look at, other VTubers and I sit here and see that they are making good decisions for themselves or making bad decisions for themselves, um, firmly, I believe that unless they come to me, for advice or just asking or just whatever, um, it's not my place to interfere,
mm-hmm.
right? I I am thankful enough to have the people that I have now, who taught me that sometimes the best answer to your own strifes and struggles with this stuff is just having some level of solitude.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Cocooning in
it's
a way.
important.
So there's cocooning is underrated, but sometimes overused. Um, you don't need to if you don't have enough salt for the salt shaker, you don't need to keep yourself locked in your house for 2 weeks. Um, there's I mean, it might be the thing that sets you over the edge to do something like that, but don't let that be the reason. Um,
Mm,
yeah, but there are people who handle things differently. It's always your mileage may vary because no one handles it the same way,
mhm.
and you see that on the VTuber community and everything else, and how they present themselves to people, how they interact with people. Um, Given your background, has it always been easy for you to interact with people the way you do now on the internet?
Um, hmm. I would sit here and say it depends,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Um, because while I could sit here and say the obvious answer being like, "Oh, absolutely, yeah," um, it harps back to the idea that people are fragile, people are fickle, right?
Right.
Especially in this environment. Again, it boils down to everybody has a story, everybody has scars.
Mhm.
Um, I have had really good relationships with people that one swift bad mistake can just destroy an entire relationship.
Oh yeah.
And it hurts. It's a regret that and hurt
Mhm.
that I do carry to my heart,
Right.
but it's something that you have to learn from, right?
Right.
Okay, well, this thing hurt someone, or this thing made I made a mistake with this person. Let me not do that mistake with the next person, right?
Mm.
Let me not say a certain thing a certain way with this next person. And then
Right.
when the time comes, they'll either reach out or the timing will be right to rekindle. I don't feel like people in the environment understand a certain level of social norms or a
Mm.
certain level of social skills
Right.
where it's okay to show your emotions to people.
Mhm.
You just don't want to go crazy or lashing out at people. And personally, for me, I have experience in that. Like I said, I've made mistakes in talking with people and how I talk to people. Right.
You're making that
Um,
giant mistake right now. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think so. Like you're a really nice guy.
Oh, thanks.
Um, but no, I would sit here and say it is very individual
Mhm.
for me when it comes to other VTubers. Now, if it's just viewers and the community and stuff, well, um, I mean, it's I'm unapologetically me. I'm here if you want it or not.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there is a reason why I confidently say that I'm the silent mother because I'm the mother that isn't really too lewd or too lusty. I'm
Mhm.
just there if you need it,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
You
and
you
I'm not going to always be in your face about things.
you have the phone on, but it's not constantly ringing in the other direction, is it? But
Exactly.
yes, yes. Well, I mean, it's just so obvious to me, and watching what you've done and just talking with you, how this is kind of fitting you like a glove. Um, do you feel as comfortable now as you've ever been online?
It has been a rather interesting conversation that I've had with myself and people around me.
Mm-hmm.
I've realized that over time, my privacy as a creator, as a person, is slowly getting smaller as I grow bigger, right?
Yeah, that happens,
Um,
unfortunately.
it is something that I feel I struggled with for some time because I was always kind of nervous about, all right, well, what if I do this and say my job finds out or whatnot.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about that anymore because I don't work for the federal government, but having a TS clearance, and you're working with nuclear stuff, yeah, you're gonna you're gonna be a little nervous with what you say.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but like, I think the underlying factor of that is that I've always stuck to my guns when it comes to being unapologetically me.
Mm,
I will never ever try to imitate somebody else. I always try to just be me. Um, and while that privacy bubble and that publicity bubble, one shrinks, one expands, um, I've over time just kind of like accepted that, like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what we're gonna have to do.
mhm.
I just gotta maneuver and figure out the best course of action to where I'm comfortable, the people around me are comfortable, and you know, adjust to as needed. It's like you said, you learn and adapt.
Mhm.
Um, so I would sit here and say nowadays, yes, I am comfortable
Yeah,
with where things are as far as me being online.
yeah,
I would also add that I'm content.
that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's very tough when you're in a situation where expansion is possible. You see other people, you know, bringing in a little bit of cash and stuff, all that. It's very tough to be content when the more things are dangled in front of you.
Mm.
Um, are you content? Now it's my turn to get meta. Are you content overall? Are you happy where you are?
I would sit here and say there's always opportunity to grow,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
Um, Now that's kind of a runabout way of saying, you're never happy if you never stay still, right?
right.
But I used to have a chief when I was in the sheriff's department.
Hmm.
I used to have a chief who he sat me down and he noticed I was conflicted about some stuff,
Right,
right? About how I felt about my ability to do my duty and the ability to balance my personal life, right?
right,
It was a rough spot when I was at the time because I had my blood relatives being kind of a pain, and I had no real sense of work-life balance, and
right.
while I was doing streaming, I was doing everything else,
Yeah.
right?
Oh man, that would surround you in a hurry, wouldn't it? Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he sat me down and he told me something that I think is very important that I really want people to digest. If you are a master at everything, you have nothing to learn.
Mm,
And I took that to heart. Um, but that doesn't mean that you can't be happy with the opportunity to learn
hmm.
or the opportunity to grow, right?
Right.
I feel like people in this environment struggle with the fine line of chasing dragons
Hmm.
and just being happy with the opportunities you're given, right?
Right.
And people muddy and mix those up because of outside perceptions, right?
Right.
Um, I personally have that issue with people, where they see me being close or affiliated with certain people, and they let their envy or they let their own struggles affect them.
Right. The
And
frustration.
so, yeah, and it's like it's understandable that there's a level of stagnicity, if that's even a word.
It is now.
I guess it is now.
Yeah.
Hi, I make up words. Yeah, but it is important to be happy with just having opportunities, right?
Right.
Be thankful that while you may be given like a piece of fruit, it's still a piece of fruit,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one person has a whole basket, but like, eventually over time, you will have that basket.
Yeah.
I really like that idea of overall things are hard,
Hmm.
but they do get better in the end, and you just have to keep moving forward.
Right. Right.
So
You make
it,
you
it
make your own triumph.
exactly. You are your own legend.
Hmm.
You write your own story. That is the thing that I took to heart 6 years ago,
Hmm.
and I still do to this day.
Yeah.
Um,
I took that to heart 50 years ago. I took I think, you know what? I'm pretty much a legend. And, and the other 10-year-olds didn't agree with me, but you know what? I don't care.
hey, hey, you're sitting here now doing interviews with a bunch of us,
Yeah.
so that's a part of your story.
Well, that's just fun. That's just fun. It really, it is. It's a chance. It's such a chance to meet people that all over the world with so many different backgrounds. I've always loved talking to people and interviewing people and finding out. It's that curiosity that gets to me. I want to know what makes people tick a little bit. What's behind them? What is driving them to keep being who they are? And um, thankfully, you've answered all those questions. And because I when you talk to somebody and you feel satisfied afterwards, and you feel like you want to keep talking, that's the best part of it. And I want to keep going with you, but we're running out of time. I
I
haven't even
know, and
hardly
trust
talked
me, I'm
about.
having a blast.
I haven't even really talked about your streaming stuff, for crying out loud. The How often are you streaming right now?
So, for those who are wondering, on the viewers on the outside end,
Yeah.
hi, I broke the fourth wall. Anyway,
Oh
um,
no.
eh, so I currently stream Sunday through Tuesday,
Mhm.
at noon, Central Standard Time.
Yes.
Um, my schedules do change. It's usually based on who I collab with,
Hmm.
but I also have an after hours channel that I just do unscheduled content.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I usually do three on, four off. It's a good balance to have.
It's a very police balance to have.
Yeah.
People don't realize how those schedules are all over the place. It's really something else. But yeah, I just want to say it's absolutely refreshing to talk with you, and to hear your perspectives and hear the obvious joy that you have in doing it is certainly it is inspiring, whether you want it to be or not. That people will listen to you and say, "Hey, I want to do this. I want to, spread a little bit myself, because they're having so much fun. I can have that much fun too. And if you can do that, um, that's pretty incredible talent. And thank you for sharing that talent with
Well, I will say this: it was a pleasure. It was a blast, and if anything, I'm glad I could give it.
us.
And thank you for giving your time to me. That is the other part too,
Yeah.
is that you gave me your time, and I appreciate that.
Well, it works both ways, believe me. It definitely works both ways. Folks, we're going to have all 7,000 links we've been able to find. Normally, it only takes me a few minutes, but I was like, "Uh, she's got another YouTube channel."
Yeah, so I have my Twitch channel, my After Hours channel, I have a VOD archive, the clip channel, I have a highlight zone. By the way, I do all this stuff myself. I don't pay editors. I don't have anyone.
Yeah.
I work on all this stuff by myself. So I have a ton of links. I do apologize.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, it's it really does show how you've incorporated them into what you're doing, and you're obviously comfortable enough with what you're doing that you don't mind having all these channels to curate at once. Um,
Mhm.
it just again shows it shows what it shows how much you're enjoying yourself, And that's going to bring everybody else with you, which is
Yeah.
a tremendous. So you got to promise me you got to keep shining out there, okay?
I promise.
All right.
I'll never stop.
All right.
Somebody has to be the beacon of the void.
That's
I
true.
gotta guide lost souls.
And you better, because I keep losing them. Thanks so much for coming on. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.